Hello, hello, happy Wednesday. I wanted to come on and talk to y'all about the energy. Because things are starting to, the pot is starting to stir. The water is starting to boil. You can let me know if you are feeling it. I know a lot of people are going through it, is what I'll say. I personally feel amazing. However, I am a Life Path 1 North Node in the first house, and this is my work, so I always go through things first. And so my craziness was earlier this year, and so I know, it has not been fun. And so I'm here to tell you that the peace, the clarity, the groundedness, the blessings, the gifts, the joy, the fun is on the other side of the release, because so much is surfacing to be released right now. I actually did two reels earlier this week, one on releasing judgment and why it's really important to release judgment right now, and two on how this eclipse is connected back to March 14th and who you are and what you were doing March 14th. And it's really a powerful time to quantum shift, to be honest. We currently have the Sun and Mercury in Virgo, opposing Saturn and Neptune. And so what this means is we're being deconstructed to be reconstructed. And Virgo season, and especially September, we're in a year 9 and a month 9. It is really about releasing. And Virgo season is always preparing you for your I want to say the first 6 signs of the zodiac is your journey with yourself, and then Libra season is when other people and other things in the outside world comes into the picture. And so Virgo season is really a time to reflect on the year and who you've been and what your goals are and what you're working towards, and really clean up your act, get your shit together, fine tune, discern, and really commit and devote to who you want to be in partnership, right? Because Libra is after Virgo, and Libra is the sign of partnership. And so Libra is where other people get added into the zodiac. And so Virgo season is really wants your shit in order. It's you got to get you got to get the body right. You got to get the health right. You got to get your habits. You got to get your routines. You get your work shit. You literally are preparing yourself for adulthood in a way, right? And so right now we're cleaning up a lot of patterning and a lot of former ways of being and operating. And with Virgo, this really looks like a lot of our patterns of control. And because if you, here's a perfect example, right? If you're wanting to call in a partner, right, with Libra season, you're not going to want to be in the energy of control when you manifest a partner, because that's how you're going to attract a wound mate and not a soulmate, right? And so whatever is surfacing right now is supporting you in the things that you actually want to receive. Libras are the receivers of the zodiac. I'm a triple Libra, so I would know. And so it's what sort of patterns of control, of anxiety, of judgment, of perfectionism, of critical fault finding, of being perfect, of staying in unpleasant situations, of inflexibility, of obsessive worry, of overanalysis, hyper anxious reactions. I call it the hamster. This is can kind of be Virgo. Internally, they're this. They're on the hamster fucking wheel, right? But you're not getting anywhere on the fucking hamster wheel, right? And so wherever you're internally doing this is where you're out of alignment. Because have you ever met a person I mean, this used to be me. Hello, like Gemini moon, opposing Uranus, all of my fucking air placements. I was internally just doing this all the time. Do you know what's not fun to be in a relationship with? Someone who is doing this all the time, right? And so it's like you're clearing out this chaotic inner behavior with your own self so that you can actually attract an aligned partnership, right? If a partnership is what you're desiring, but it can be a relationship with anything, right? Because Libra is the relationship, it is the partnership. It can be a relationship with your business, with your family, with your children, with money, with, your body. Like, it's literally your relationship with anything. That's really your relationship with source, right? Opposite of Virgo is Pisces, so we're all connecting to our intuition. And so it's really like your inner world that attracts the outer one. And the transition from Virgo to Libra teaches us that. Because the first 6 signs of the zodiac are our internal journey. It's like the fool's journey through the zodiac. And then with Libra, it's like we meet other people to go on the journey with. And so, and that's where we really get the outside manifestation is with Libra. And so, where do you need to clean up your act, right? Where do you need to surrender your anxieties to a higher power? Where do you need to be non-judgmental? Where do you need to be compassionate? Where do you need to welcome change? Where do you need to trust in positive outcomes? Where do you need to trust God? Where do you need to have certainty? Where do you need to have just like complete acceptance of the fucking chaos and the fucking mess that you're going through? And why I knew coming into this year that this nodal axis was going to be really hard for people, because Virgo is your 3D and Pisces is the 5D. And really, so much of the world is really connected and attuned to the 3D way of operating, but that's not where we're going, right? Like, we're going into this multidimensional existence. And so you have to surrender with the South Node and Virgo all of your patterns of control and the ways in which you're operating that are no longer resonant. And so it's really about your connection to your intuition, to spirit, to God, to source, to your oneness and your interconnectedness with everything. And I think we can all realize that humanity is very out of touch with the fact that we're all one. Like, people that, like, we have just lost the fucking plot as a society. It's like, no, we are all like brothers and sisters. It's very like Avatar. Like, we're all like connected through like the circle of like the trees are connected to the animals, like we're connected to that. Like, it's very like circle of life. Like, we're all one, we're all interconnected, we're all here to support and love and take care of one another. And it's like we've just lost touch with like the fact that like our neighbors are our brother and sisters, you know what I mean? Or people across the world are like, are us, right? There's like that saying where there are no other people, like everything is just you pushed out. And it's like we've lost that fucking plot. And so go watch my, my reel I posted about this yesterday. It's like there is light and there is dark, and there is day and there is night, there is sun and there is moon. Like, there is polarity in life. So everything is welcome, everything is accepted, everything is of God. That is what Pisces teaches us. And so it's really about just surrendering to wherever you are and recognize that the strife, the chaos, the turmoil, the challenges, the negativity, and the contrast that you're currently experiencing is pushing you to your higher self, because the nodes, eclipses have to do with the nodes of fate, and the nodes of fate have to do with your purpose and your potential. And the North Node is not easy to inhabit. Otherwise there would be no growth, right? And so, it's really challenging people to connect to something bigger and higher than themselves, and really, like, people are only safe with, like, what they can see. Like, I always, like, say, like, Virgo can't see past the end of their arm. Sorry, Virgos. They, like, can't see past the end of their arm to know what's beyond what they can fucking see. And it's like, how do you know that beyond the end of your arm isn't like all of the magic and miracles and manifestations that you've been wanting and desiring? And it's just like trusting that like God has a higher plan, and that when we try to control and micromanage God, we really limit our possibilities of what we can receive, because God has the all-seeing eye. Like God has like God plays the long game. My first spiritual teacher used to tell me this, and I would get so frustrated. But it's like things are coming to fruition now that like Spirit brought into my awareness and to my attention like years ago. You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh, right, like this was the plan all along, Spirit. I see what you did, and I see why I had to go through that challenge in order to align with that thing. But like these things have been in motion for a long fucking time. And it's like, we can only see from our lens of perception, but God can see a mile down the road, a month down the road, and know that it's the jackpot's there. You know what I mean? They're like, just keep going through the fucking chaos and through the fucking mess, because on the other side is the fucking rainbow and pot of gold. And so it's like you have to bear the storm sometimes. And the storm and these eclipses are showing you what is in and out of alignment. And eclipses, I call them like quantum leaps for your soul, because they really can catalyze you if you are in alignment. This is when you meet the love of your life. This is when you get the job. This is when you move across the country. This is when major life milestones and shifts happen. But if you're really struggling and having a hard time, it's how you know you're out of alignment, because the nodes are always the north compass, right? The north node is the north compass. It's like that is where we're all going collectively. We're all collectively going to the north node in Pisces. And because the ruler of the north node in Pisces is a Neptune in opposition to this eclipse, and it's like it's in opposition to this eclipse. It's with Saturn. There's like so much karma that we're untangling, and Pisces is really about your karma. It is about endings. It is about closing. It is about completion. And so we're really closing and clearing like these massive karmic cycles. And so it's no like fucking small walk in the park, but it's very fated. It's very destined. And when you can just surrender to the reins of control and know that the universe, God knows what you want. God knows exactly what you want, and knows how to give you the exact challenges that you need to be in alignment with it. Because God wants what you want, and God wants to give you more than you could ever desire, but it can't give you anything that you're not a frequency match for. That's just the law of the universe. And so see everything that's happening right now as happening for you. It's happening for your highest and best. And when you can just surrender and accept that, it really allows you to just be present in the process. And so sometimes we got to let it all deconstruct. And I can just say personally, like, confirmation, since like moving, you know, like so many like portals closed for me in Miami. It is 1:11 since I said this. And it's like the clarity happens after the move, right? It's like all of the clarity that I needed happened after I left, right? Because it was like all the universe was telling me, like all these portals were closing. It's like you actually need to leave. You actually need to move. And my ego was in so much resistance to it. But as soon as I fucking surrendered and I did it and I trusted that there was a higher purpose for it, it's like I've received all of the clarity. I've received all of the blessings. I've received all of the support. And it's like, oh, I just tapped in to a fucking easier timeline by surrendering my fucking ego. And it's like there's like this other timeline that was like right here that was like full of miracles and rewards and blessings and support and gifts and abundance and blessings. But it's like I was just like banging my head against the wall by like trying to make this timeline work. And so it's like when you pivot and you trust and you surrender to God's higher plan, then you're like, oh, I understand. Like, I understand why I couldn't stay. I understand why that was out of alignment. Like, you get it on the other side. But the clarity comes from you making the move and you moving the energy in that direction. And sometimes the clarity comes in when you do nothing, right? Like you actually, like if you're someone who's always busy and you're always doing this energy, it's like you actually need to rest and relax and receive and open yourself up to receive those codes, because your constant doing is preventing you from getting the downloads and getting the connection point, right? Because what I will say is, like, when I'm very 3D, like when my body and my nervous system is like down regulating hard, like all of August, I was down regulating so hard. Like I wasn't connected to my intuition, right? Because I was like, that was just the process that I was in. I was like down regulating. And so my body was like acclimating to so much in the 3D, right? Our bodies teach us so much about the 3D experience, and things need to be really integrated and transformed and processed on a very visceral level within our bodies so that we can be received in the 3D, like so that it can match and mirror where we're holding things. And so things need to be integrated internally. And so that's really what's happening right now. And so allow the transformation to happen internally. Allow yourself to feel the emotions without judgment, because judgment is what's going to perpetuate the cycle. And it's like the emotions, like energy, can never be killed or destroyed, right? It can only change form. And so your emotions need to be transformed into something else. And that is literally how you raise your vibration, is by feeling your darker, deeper, denser emotions and alchemizing them into the light, right? So I could go on and on, but I'm going to leave that there. Definitely watch those 2 reels on my feed, because that will really support you in understanding the energy of Virgo and the last eclipse, and how you can use the past and you can use the information of these prior Virgo eclipses so that you can really move forward and propel you into the future. Because again, when you're in alignment with eclipses, you really can use them as a catalyst to quantum leap your fucking reality and land in a totally different level of existence. And so if you resonate with this energy of like these internal patterns of like chaos, of control, of anxiety, of stress, of worry, of like work, do, you need to get out of your mind and into your body, which means you got to work with your nervous system to expand your capacity to receive, because that sort of energy is just an identity that you're adhering to, and that's not the truth of who you are. And when you can come back to your body and you can reestablish your connection with yourself, that is when you can connect to your intuition. You become like a little oracle. Divine oracle, always receiving the wisdom, always receiving the guidance. So you never have to look outside of yourself for answers. You have peace internally. Your joy turns on, your vitality turns on, your vibrancy turns on. Everything comes and is attracted to you, and you really get to move and have a relationship with yourself from a completely different place, and your life will never be the same. You'll be so much happier, more at peace, more in love with yourself, and just really expand your capacity to receive so much. Like whatever it is that you want, love, money, abundance, partnership, like you name it, expand your capacity to receive and get out of your head, into your body, raise your standards, establish boundaries, pull all of your energy back, take your power back, and really from there you get to establish such a strong connection with Source, with Spirit, with God. And that's really the journey I'm taking you through inside of Receiver. So if you resonate with that and you want to learn more, you can send me a DM me a Receiver. It is a 3-month journey that we're going on together to come back to your body, to raise your standards, have a strong boundaries, develop emotional control, and have an identity shift so that you can end the year as the iconic, empowered, really goddess woman that you are, and really expanding in your capacity to receive confirmation. So you can send me a DM me a Receiver if you want to join, but hang in there. Hang in there. It's a wild ride, but it's a fun ride. And I promise on the other side is the magic, is the gifts, is the abundance, is the bliss. So all of my love, and enjoy this energy. Bye, guys.